We begin here at 5 with the man who authorities say tried to storm the White House Correspondents Dinner, facing a judge this afternoon.
Meanwhile, investigators are still trying to determine how he got so close to that ballroom. Prosecutors say the gunman, identified as Cole Thomas Allen, faces federal charges alleging he traveled across multiple state lines with firearms in an attempt to assassinate President Trump. Top officials are moving quickly to meet with the Secret Service and Homeland Security to review security protocols for major events. Dick Brennan joins us now with the very latest. Dick?
Well, Jessica and Christine, federal officials say the suspect, Cole Allen, carefully planned this. They say he made reservations for the Washington Hilton back on April 6th in anticipation of being at the White House Correspondents Dinner this weekend. And they say he had multiple targets. The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen from California, appeared in federal court and was charged with 3 counts: attempting to assassinate President Trump, transportation of a firearm and ammunition in interstate commerce with intent to commit a felony, and discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. DOJ officials displayed the weapons they say he had, including a shotgun he fired and several knives.
So any suggestion that he wasn't there to do harm is absurd. We will prove when he purchased these guns. They were purchased in California.
CBS News obtained a copy of what investigators call his manifesto. In it, Allen allegedly talked about wanting to target administration officials from highest ranking to lowest. The Justice Department praised the response of law enforcement.
Law enforcement did not fail. They did exactly what they are trained to do. This was not an accident. It was the result, as we know now, of preparation. But the men and women who protected us that night were trained, professional, and had an enduring commitment to the rule of law.
But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says authorities are always looking for ways to improve security.
I definitely wouldn't say changes are out of the question.
Was there a failure in security?
Obviously, there was a breach of security.
Former NYPD Lieutenant Commander John Schneider says there needed to be added layers of security at the checkpoint the gunman ran through.
Once the threat enters the frozen area, something had to be able to take him out immediately. He shouldn't have been able to get that close.
And Schneider says holding the dinner at the Washington Hilton created many security challenges.
I would never have an event like this at a hotel that's not completely locked down. We use the term lockdown. It wasn't locked down. There was too much traffic going through.
Now, Attorney General Blanche says the Secret Service would never let the president in an unsafe environment, and he insisted, as the president has, that a ballroom be finished at the White House to provide a safe place for the president to attend dinners. Jessica and Christine.
All right, Dick, thank you.
Well, the White House is speaking out over a joke that Jimmy Kimmel made last week on his late-night show. In a sketch prior to this weekend's attack, Kimmel pretended to be a hired comedian at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He said the First Lady had a glow like an expectant widow. Melania Trump called the joke corrosive and said Kimmel should not be allowed on the public airwaves. Well, today the White House press secretary also took issue with the joke.
Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that.
After his wife's post today, President Trump said Jimmy Kimmel should be fired. So far, Kimmel has not responded to this controversy. He was suspended last year for comments that he made about the assassination of conservative leader Charlie Kirk.
Did the government shutdown impact the level of security in place at Saturday's dinner? The CBS Evening News team is investigating.
The question of security is really the question of Washington, and it's an argument. There are those that say the security was sufficient. After all, the gunman was unable to breach the ballroom perimeter. On the other hand, our CBS News security analyst Aaron McLean says, look, no one checked my ID. I could have had a photocopy of the invitation, and the metal detectors were quite close to the door. So we know Susie Wiles, the White House chief of staff, is reviewing all of it to try to get a better picture. And part of that review inevitably will be whether the government shutdown impacted resources and led to weaker security than there would otherwise be. So that is the talk of the town, and we'll have the latest on it on the CBS Evening News.
And you can watch the Evening News tonight at 6:30 right here on CBS New York.